亲爱的观众朋友们，大家晚上好！欢迎大家收看加拿大国际电视台的大型时政栏目《议政厅》，我是主持人杨毅。随着联邦大选的日益临近可以说现在很多候选人已经到了最后，可以说是冲刺的阶段，可以说是分秒必争的加紧宣传。我知道他们都非常忙，但是他们都愿意来到我们的议政厅栏目，向广大的华人朋友们介绍他们自己的施政或者是参政的理念。不过今天呢，有一个小问题，我有点小问题，感冒了。细心的观众朋友们可能已经听出来了。不过我一看嘉宾的这个简历我高兴了。一看它里头有一项的话，就是他非常在这个领域里头很有建树、很有研究，是什么呢 ？Healthcare 健康。我就特别高兴，往下一看，又凉了半截。为什么呢？跟我关系不大，他主要是在妇女健康问题或者一些心脏病等大病方面。像我小小的感冒呢，实际上呢，并不是他所特别擅长的方面。当然，这只是他所有简历当中很微小的一个部分，因为他在其他的方面可以说呢，也有很多很多的积极参与的地方。那么具体他是谁呢？他就是我们这一次的自由党的联邦的国会议员的候选人，是 Thornhill 选区的 Nancy Coldham。让我们有请 ，Let's welcome. Hi Nancy, how are you? Yeah, hi, nice to see you. 那 Nancy 这样子，因为 Thornhill 选区的话呢，华人的比例没有像我们前几期节目的一些选区呢，华人比例非常的高，有的甚至高达60%-70%。那么在这个选区里头的华人比例不是特别高，所以说肯定很多华人朋友对您不是特别的熟悉。在节目一开始，能不能简单的介绍一下您个人的一些情况？
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thanks for the question. I think for most of us, it's very important to know our personal history, our family history.
Yep.
My grandfather came from England. He was invited by the Canadian government to come and he was in the Royal Military over there. And he came to help establish an engineering corps in the Canadian military. So he came and taught at the Royal Military College in Kingston, Ontario. And he taught military mapping and surveying. And the irony of this, Patrick, is that many years later, when my father, after the Second World War, he had joined up like everybody else, and he became a surveyor of the dew line. So the dew line was the top of the Arctic Circle of Canada. After the Second World War, the Americans were convinced that Russia was going to attack from over the Arctic Circle. So they sent the Canadian military up to do the mapping and surveying and lay the early radar system. So that's the history of my father's family coming over.
那您自己的一些情况呢？我知道，那这样子就讲起来，您父亲这面应该算是外请专家了。那您现在的一些情况是怎么样的？您个人的家庭的一些情况，还有您现在从事的工作的情况。
Actually, I grew up in Canada, but in Ottawa, the nation's capital.
对。
Yes, yes. And then shortly after being married, we were posted diplomatically to represent Canada and Australia. So I lived in Australia. Yeah, fascinating place. And I've always loved to travel, so I've traveled around the world, including China. So my occupation right now is I'm an entrepreneur. I started my own business 30 years ago. But originally, having come from Ottawa, I had been a speechwriter for a cabinet minister. And I have worked both in government and in so the bureaucracy, as well as the political offices in Canada and in Australia.
这样子，您跟澳大利亚这边还有一点关系。不过刚才您说您去过中国，我注意到您今天穿的就是中式服装这是寿字。
Oh yes, yes, of course. So as I said, I love to travel, and I've had many wonderful Chinese friends. And I said to them, look, I really want to have a jacket so I can participate in some of the festivals. And so my girlfriend went with me, and she said, oh, this is a very good sign for you. So I said, excellent, because actually my mother had a good long life. She's gone now, but her grandmother lived to be 100. Her mother lived to be, I think, about 85, and my mother lived to be 91. So hopefully this jacket will also give me that kind of long life.
没错，寿字嘛，所以说长寿嘛，所以说您妈妈的家族有这个遗传基因呢，这是好事。
there's much happiness. I am much blessed. And I think that has to do with the fact that I truly enjoy people. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy sharing cultural exchanges and learning from others because, of course, we all benefit from being global citizens.
对啊，没错，因为您刚才已经讲了，实际上您在这个工作当中的话呢，其实也有很多这种与人交往啊，和您刚才说的您喜欢的事情呢有点不谋而合。但是呢，您的工作和您现在这个选区的话呢，就是说其实的话呢，有一点点不太一样，因为您的选区好像是一个，就是说现在是保守党势力比较强，以前也曾经有自由党就是当选过这个选区。那您把您这个选区的情况、人口构成的情况给我们介绍一下好不好？
I would love to tell you about Thornhill, naturally. Thornhill actually was created by the Liberal government many years ago. Because of the growing Jewish population, they actually created the riding of Thornhill, and they appointed Eleanor Kaplan, who became the first female Jewish cabinet minister in Canadian history.
Oh.
Yes, as you will know, it's a large Jewish population. I believe about 35% of the riding is Jewish. Now, we've had a bigger influx of people over the years, but that is an important block vote. The riding is actually very large. There are 100,000 voters. The riding boundaries for your listeners and those who may be lucky enough to call Thornhill riding home is Bayview Avenue.
Yeah, 这块是属于 Markham.
Correct. Steeles.
在南面。
Highway 400.
400 这已经是到旺市了。
All the way to Rutherford. And then a little dip under 407. So you see the size.
对啊，这个面积挺大，人口其实也蛮多的这个区域里头，那么在这个区域里，就像我刚才已经讲了，其实我看现任的国会议员是保守党的，自由党以前的话呢也是当选过这个选区的国会议员。那您为什么选择了自由党？是您一直是跟着自由党来走呢，还是认为这次选举的时候您代表自由党出战有什么特别的理由吗？
Excellent question, and it is a question I get at the door. I guess you can imagine I've been knocking on about 1,000 doors a week. Yes, and obviously I'm not going to get to every door, but a number of people, particularly new Canadians, ask me, Nancy, tell me, what is the difference between conservative or liberal, and why did you choose liberal? And for me, Patrick, the answer is very clear. If you look at the history of Canada, particularly when we have been in times of change, or the world has been changing and we need Canada to have a role in the world, it's always been a Liberal government that has performed that visionary role. So for many viewers, they may not know all that history, but the modern Canada was defined by a very, very wise Liberal named Lester B. Pearson. The airport is still named after him in Toronto. What he did, Patrick, is he said, look, Canada's a very small country. We were still linked to the British at that time. He said, time to get rid of the Dominion of Canada and become an independent Canada, have our own national flag. And he did this. He also said it's time for us to make sure we open our doors and grow the country through immigration. And then he was the one that picked Pierre Elliott Trudeau to come in, bring in Quebec, make sure Quebec felt comfortable in our confederation, and to make Canada bilingual, French and English.
多元文化也就是从这儿开始的。
These are the things that people were attracted to Canada for, our multiculturalism, our openness, the fact that we recognize it would only be through immigration. So I think when you look at that, that created the sense that Canada understood the need to be a global citizen and not just North American focused, and certainly not just American focused. We don't always look south under a Liberal government, we look globally. And in fact, it was a Liberal government that recognized the need many, many years ago when the world was not favorably disposed to China. It was a Liberal government that did the first trade agreement with China and knocked on that door. So that knocking on doors and opening the world is one of the reasons that I find very attractive, and I felt I could call the Liberal Party home. The other thing is it's the government that created our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It's the government that also made the most gains to engaging women to come into political life.
讲到了这个女性参政的问题，对我看到了，在您的这个经历当中，您好像特别在乎这个女性参政，或者说女性参与到社会事务当中，这里有什么特别的原因吗？
Yes, Patrick, you caught me. You know me well. You're a good interviewer. You've done your homework. Yes, I have spent a good deal of my career focused on the advancement of women in politics and in business as a woman entrepreneur. As we were talking earlier in the interview, I come from a large family. I have several sisters and just one brother. So when someone says baby to me, I think girl. And when someone says to me agent of change, I think woman. So one of the things that I have always enjoyed with the Liberal Party is this willingness to have women not just in running for office, but also in the back rooms. So it was one of the parties that was first to have women as campaign managers and as riding presidents and involved in the machinery of politics.
对啊，不过您这么说很容易让我们误解您是女权主义者啊。能不能具体讲一讲的话，您都为妇女做了哪些就是特别具体的工作，得到过哪些具体的一些奖励啊，或者说一些表彰啊，这方面的工作给我们介绍一下好不好？
Patrick, we would have a very long interview if I told you all these stories, but I'll give you some highlights.
Yep.
So again, politically, I was president of the Judy LaMarche Fund, and that fund raised the money to help women run for political office. In other causes, I have been involved with Walk With Me, which was to stop human trafficking, so that was very important. I did my master's degree in women entrepreneurship in post-conflict countries. So I studied 30 women who were involved in the Peace Through Business program in Kigali, Rwanda. And in fact, I am honored to say that research received a Governor General's Gold Medal Award.
哦，其实我在看您的资料里头看到了，其实您为妇女做了很多的工作，所以我刚才有一个问题啊，不知道您适不适合，就是您是不是认为妇女就是特别的，就是妇女至上、女权主义者？您可不可以说您是女权主义？
Well, actually, there are a number of men who are feminists too, you know, Patrick. The idea for me of feminism is the championing, to be a champion of equality and equal rights. And I think we're seeing today a lot of very strong men who want to have a strong woman. They want to have a partner in life and in business, and I think this is wonderful. So I do see myself as a champion, but not just of women. If I were fortunate enough, if this jacket comes true, and I was to become the member of parliament for Thornhill, I would equally represent men and women.
其实我知道，因为其实从您的上头已经写了这个 equally 的这个 voice， 实际上是要一个平等的声音。所以刚才呢，实际上是半开玩笑的性质，因为我看您的经历里头，在妇女问题上的话呢，真的是花了很多的精力。另外一个，我看了您一直是作为一个这个小生意的这么一个叫做建议者呀，或者是说是一个顾问性质的。那这方面的您主要的经历主要是在哪些呢？
Oh, another favorite topic, business and entrepreneurship. You know, Patrick, in Canada, particularly in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a real increase in women who chose to run their own businesses. And I think in part to your previous question, it was recognizing that even if you were well educated, you would get into corporations and you would find you would hit what we call the glass ceiling. To be honest, I think it was acrylic. We would actually get to a certain point and bounce off. So a number of women ended up becoming CEOs of their own ventures. For me, actually, public affairs consulting is a wonderful venture because we're always learning, and to that end, the business is about strategic communication, which is issues, crisis management, and just, you know, intercultural communication. competitive intelligence, which is a growing field, and I think we're actually the only public affairs firm in Canada that offers competitive intelligence. We can talk about that. And lastly, government relations, because in Canada we're a very regulated country, and so for a lot of corporations and trade and industrial sectors, they need to either get rid of some red tape or at least understand how to get through the system to get things licensed.
对啊，那你提到这块的话，还真的是现在的话，似乎是几个党派对经济问题和这个小生意问题的话呢，有几种不同的经济理念，他们在这个争论啊。那您觉得，您从事这个行业，作为一个顾问来讲，您认为现在自由党的经济理念和其他政党的经济理念有什么不同？好在什么地方？几个党派对经济问题和这个小生意问题的话呢，有几种不同的经济理念，他们在这个争论啊。那您觉得，您从事这个行业，作为一个顾问来讲，您认为现在自由党的经济理念和其他政党的经济理念有什么不同？好在什么地方？当然，我知道您肯定是说自由党的经济理念好了，但是好在什么地方，我们要知道。
This is one of the reasons I'm running, Patrick. I'm so glad you asked this. And I think it's an important question for your audience as well. Canada has not been in such a poor economic situation for 80 years. C.B. Bennett was the last prime minister, again a conservative at that time, and it was sort of post-Depression era. So one of the things I think is most compelling, and one of the reasons I hope that particularly the Chinese in Thornhill decide to come out this time and vote, is that the economy needs to change. We need a new plan. We need a new course. Why? There are 4 numbers I think are very compelling for people who are watching.
Oh.
Yes, 165.
165, okay.
400. 166.
Okay.
And 1.5.
这是什么数字啊？这些数字有什么特别的含义？
Okay, so 165,000 educated youth are unemployed and unable to find work.
那么多啊。
400,000 manufacturing jobs lost in the last 10 years of Mr. Harper's regime.
Wow.
Yeah, $166 billion he has added to our national debt, and 1.5 million Canadians are unemployed and don't think they have a prospect of a job, which is why we need to make sure that more people understand how to be enterprising and how to create their own jobs, which gets me back to entrepreneurship and also part of the Liberal plan. Of the major or political parties running, the Liberals are the only ones that have declared a true plan for stimulation of the economy. We're going to invest in infrastructure. Anyone will tell you, any economist, or you'll see anywhere in the world, when a country is in economic decline, and don't forget, unlike the rest of the world, we are in our 2nd consecutive recession, okay? The GDP growth projection for the rest of the world is 3.5 to 4% in the States, and here in Canada we are at 2.2. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. So what do? If you invest in infrastructure, particularly during an economic downturn, every dollar that goes in, $4 comes back. That is the stimulation we need, right? This will help create jobs, and in the long term, our infrastructure is appalling. I would think anyone who has the benefit of having come from Asia knows there's no vroom, fast, rapid transit here.
对啊。
Not enough subways,
对。
right? The bridges are crumbling. The infrastructure is in bad repair. So this is the first thing. The second thing is infrastructure that is social. So one of the other problems we have is we have something like over 300,000 children that are now living in poverty in Canada. This is in Canada, yes. So you see, I want to have a voice to help people understand that there is an alternative to this, and also in a country this rich, this should be something that is unacceptable to everyone.
我大概明白您说的这个，就是讲到的这些问题，只不过我没有想到您说的这几个数字有这么多啊。关于基建投资，我个人也是同意的。为什么？因为中国以前有一句话叫"要想富，先修路"，也就是说呢，基建投资上去了，它的这种附带的经济回报会出来。 当然我也没有具体的统计数字，知道就是投入1块钱会收到4块钱。但是我相信您作为一个顾问，作为一个资深的这么多年的生意的投资顾问的话呢，不是投资顾问，生意的顾问的话呢，您这么说一定是有自己的道理。不过这里头有一个小问题，如果我们需要这么大的基建投资，我们会不会增加很多的税务负担出来？
So you know what? You have all the good questions. One of the things is the Trudeau plan has been thoroughly costed by economists and things like that. What we're finding, and this goes back to your earlier question about philosophy, why conservative versus liberal? Historically, conservative governments talk about being good fiscal managers, but traditionally they have always delivered big deficits. So you will remember, and hopefully your viewers will remember, the Chrétien and Martin years. They came in, they cleaned up after Mr. Mulroney's government, created a surplus. Mr. Harper came in, he's depleted the entire surplus, and year after year after year, deficit, deficit, deficit. But where's the benefit? If we don't have it in infrastructure, if we've lost our place in innovation, if we have eroded our position in terms of global industry clusters, where's the money going? So one of the things that has been explored is he is giving the benefits to some of the major corporations, right? This is not how you grow an economy. It is the enterprising people, the new immigrants that come and start a business, people like myself, and hopefully the next generation that know that there's value in being an entrepreneur and being enterprising, right? So the problem is, where does the money come from? A lot of it will come from getting rid of tax loopholes. I'll give you an example. Jim Stanford, who is a conservative economist, has said from one tax loop that was created for some of the major corporations, what was sucked out of the Canadian economy was $20 billion with no net benefit, okay? So all we do is close that loophole. $20 billion would pay for the social infrastructure program over the next 10 years. So we do not have to raise taxes to have these kinds of investments. We have to go in and we have to be prudent. We have to look where there's been waste or duplication or unnecessary loopholes with no benefit to the coffers.
对你刚才谈到这个 benefits 的问题，然后我也注意到，一开始我还拿这个开玩笑说你这个 health care 对我今天感冒有没有帮助啊？那么 health care 实际上就是 benefit 的一部分。那么在福利方面，那么自由党就是福利啊，社会福利方面啊，社会这个就是对社会福利的投入方面，自由党跟其他的政党又有什么特别的差距，或者有什么好处没有？
Well, it's going to sound like a stuck record, but I will tell you, it was actually under the Liberal government, again, Mr. Pearson, that we brought in Medicare. And his agent of change in that minority government was a woman named Judy LaMarche. Judy LaMarche was tasked with bringing in Medicare, which she did. She was also tasked with bringing in something called the Guaranteed Income Supplement for seniors. Both of these things are very important. First of all, a lot of companies come to Canada because of our educated workforce, our multicultural workforce, but also the healthcare benefits, right? We have a healthy citizenry because of Medicare. However, over time, the healthcare transfer payments from the government have been eroding. Now, they will say that's not so, but you can check. For the 2016 budget, Mr. Harper has already declared he will be cutting the transfer payment by half. Okay, so this is not good. It's certainly not good news for our seniors. Okay, and we have many seniors. And so what the Trudeau government would do three things immediately. Take the retirement age back to 65. Okay. Mr. Harper had moved it forward. Yeah, correct. We will reinstate the Guaranteed Income Supplement, which tops up people's pension. And we're going to bring in something called the Seniors Pension Index, because seniors will be subjected to the ups and downs, right? Particularly when our dollar goes up and down, their buying power shrinks. And that will be a benefit to them, because for most seniors, they've spent their life contributing and paying tax, right?
对啊，他们现在应该得到他们就是应该享受的这样的一个福利。
Well, and the other point, I'll just make this little point here, is that even on some of the trade deals that are being discussed now, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, one of the effects, we're waiting to hear what will happen, but that is that he's going to let big pharma in. One of the innovative sectors of the Canadian economy has been our generics. And what the Liberals hope to bring in with their social infrastructure plan is finally marrying healthcare with Medicare with pharmacare, so that drugs will be covered. And most of that would have been covered by the generic drugs. So we'll see what this new Harper deal does in case that generic industry is decimated.
这个确实是一个挺有意思的话题。然后，如果是将来的话，如果是实施的话，实际上对我们每个人切身利益，它都是有一个保障和保护。所以我觉得这次您谈到很多自由党的理念呢，跟您从事的经历啊，妇女的事务也好啊，是这个健保的事务也好啊，或者是这个生意顾问的事业也好啊，都有一些不谋而合的一个焦点。然后我注意看到您特别关注的有2点，因为您特别提到2个地方，我没太搞明白啊，可能是一个口号啊，就是叫做 duty and advocacy。这两个有什么特别的含义吗？
Well, duty of advocacy is a value and a principle to me.
Yeah.
You were mentioning earlier about my grandfather and my dear father himself. We were raised to understand that we have a duty to our family, to our community, and our country.
这个 duty 就是说责任 responsibility.
Correct. And also to look after each other, right? And this sense of community is important. I personally believe every member of parliament has a duty of advocacy.
对他们有自己的责任。
Yes, and not as advocates for just their political party, but to the residents they serve.
对。
Because we have a very diverse community. We have not as many Chinese as Markham. Markham has a bigger thing, although I have some of that, right?
你有一块是 Markham 的，你有一块是。
Correct. That part of Thornhill. But also, we have Armenians, we have Koreans, we have Iranians, we have people who have chosen to call York Region and luckily the riding of Thornhill Vaughan Concord as home, right? So the idea is that advocacy is the requirement to make sure those people feel they have voice. One of the things, and I don't speak disparagingly of the opposition, the incumbent now, he's almost 73 years old, he has had poor health, and many of the people at the door are telling me, it's time he went. He's lost his vigor and his desire to be an advocate for people.
当然，您说这个 duty and advocacy 不仅仅是这个选区，也代表你个人的这样的一个从政的理念。那您觉得，如果您当选了国会议员，您最想做的几件事情是什么？
You know, the thing that's been most humbling is, particularly in this day and age, a lot of people coming and going, it's hard to catch them at home. But people open their doors and they have been very good to open their hearts and tell me their stories and what they need. And I am hearing people say the economy has got to be readdressed.
对。
Oh yeah, we need infrastructure in terms of transit. We need to make sure our youth can find work. We need to get those lost jobs in manufacturing back. Not just service sector jobs, but back into manufacturing. And a lot of them are very concerned that we have not figured out how to match green energy, right, clean technology, with the need for advancing Canada in that clean tech sector, right? So, but on a compelling, a very human note, they're very concerned that the Canada that they came to, or the Canada they grew up in, no longer feels the same. So they're saying, Nancy, bring it back. Bring back the tolerance. Bring back the mutual understanding. Revitalize that welcome to people of different countries. Don't be divisive. They want to see the end of C-24. They want one Canadian citizenship, not something that can be taken away in a political gesture without judicial recourse.
对啊，所以我从您刚才的这个谈话当中呢，很明显的感觉到，您一直在孜孜不倦的、很努力的追求一个平等的声音的权利，这个 equal voice， 对吧？那这样子就平等的声音的权利，所以说您选择了更多包容、更多这个自由的这个自由党，然后呢也能听得出来您反对这样子 C24、C24 这样子的法案。 当然了，我知道这跟咱们的选区啊有一些特别密切的关系，因为在 Thornhill 这个选区里呢是聚居着最多的犹太裔的居民，同时也有很多其他的族裔，而且 Thornhill 这个选区也很有意思，它有一部分 Markham， 一部分在 Vaughan 这个地方啊，所以说这个地方的声音呢，可以说虽然华人的比例不是特别高，但是我觉得有必要让我们华人的朋友呢了解在不同的区域、不同的加拿大人、不同的族裔他们是怎么样的一个想法。然后呢，也希望呢您在这次这个大选当中的话呢，取得非常好的成就。然后呢，也希望你能够就是在Thornhill 的选区得到更多的支持。也谢谢你来到我们今天的节目。Thank you very much for coming here.
谢谢 ，Thank you so much.